midnight, President Trump's new reciprocal tariffs kicked in. China is feeling the impact the most. Asian stocks tumbled this morning. A 104% tax is in place on all Chinese imports. China was already hit with a 54% tariff, but then Trump followed through with his threat to add another 50%. That was in response to China imposing a 34% retaliatory tariff on the U.S. for its tariffs placed on China. Well, starting today, Canada has a 25% tariff on U.S. auto imports. These are the vehicles not meeting the requirements of the 2019 North American trade deal.
China is showing no sign of backing down, and neither is President Trump.
They want to make a deal. They really do. They want to make a deal. They just don't know how to get it started because they're proud people.
And so at midnight, U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods soared to 104% on everything from clothing and shoes to toys and tech. Costs that will be hard for factory owner Jeffy Ma to absorb.
Let's say for the average baseball hat, people are going to pay more.
Yeah, sure. That's the result.
Duties on other countries kicked in too, a punishing 49% on Cambodia, 46% for Vietnam, key hubs for American companies like Nike, Lululemon, and Apple. Japan and South Korea are sending trade teams to the White House to seek relief. But no country is more targeted than China, long considered the world's factory. Beijing has retaliated with rounds of tariffs and restrictions of their own. President Trump overnight also tripling duties to 90% on small packages that help the rise of Chinese giants Shein and Temu.
This is a massive distribution center that's being built just for Shein, over 5 million square feet.
Cheap goods from China will cost U.S. consumers more for the things used in every American home. Target deals with 2,500 factories here, and 80% of all toys in the U.S. are made in China. China's Commerce Ministry said today the country has a firm will and abundant means to fight a trade war with the U.S. The rift now considered a sensitive issue on Chinese social media, where hashtags using 104% have been censored. China is showing no sign of backing down from an all-out trade war with the U.S. Officials here have announced even more countermeasures, 84% tariffs on U.S. imports, no longer the 34% they announced last week to match the latest round out of the U.S. So the gloves are off. And this is going to impact U.S. farmers, sending goods like soybeans and poultry to China, as well as some energy products. And there's talk of more to come, like a ban on Hollywood films and possibly cutting off talks on fentanyl cooperation. The 104% tariffs on Chinese goods will hike the cost of everything from clothing and shoes to toys and electronics, all the things used in American homes. Also overnight, President Trump tripled duties to 90% on small packages that had been coming into the U.S. duty-free from retailers like Shein and Temu. President Trump has said that China wants to make a deal badly, but there's no indication here that Beijing even wants to talk, let alone line up with the dozens of other countries that are now looking to the White House for tariff relief. Janice Mackey-Freire, NBC News, Beijing.